This year, a quiet conversation has been circulating about a new type of poverty emerging in big cities. These individuals drive decent cars, live in comfortable homes in the city center, and appear to have a decent consumption level. Life seems to be full of flavor for them, yet their bank accounts are nearly empty, often with only a few $100s in cash on hand. Each day begins with a barrage of bills, not just for mortgages and car loans, but also for home renovations and various other debts. Many netizens mock themselves as being part of this group, unsure whether they are wealthy or poor. This phenomenon is indeed widespread and interesting. Within this group of so-called Gai Mu Por Gichu, there are often high-income earners. Typically, both spouses have formal jobs with salaries above the average, yet they struggle to save and often carry debt. They don't seem to spend money recklessly, access cents from normal living expenses. They might occasionally travel or buy a car for transportation, which is quite normal. Their food and daily items are relatively refined, but by no means extravagant. Despite this ordinary lifestyle, the combined high salaries of two people are depleted, creating a large number of these ex-new poor daily. Behind this term lies several sorrows. First, the unrestrained housing prices have indeed put significant pressure on a generation. I know of young newlyweds with good jobs whose combined salaries require them to work extremely hard to afford a home. This is not just in places like Beijing or Shanghai, where housing prices are the most frantic, but also in second and third tier cities. Housing prices are so high that a monthly salary of a few thousand is dwarfed by the cost of a home, often over $1.5 million. This is a very common phenomenon. The Oshnu Kornik are forced to buy homes at these prices without any financial reserves. Now, as the real estate market declines, people focus on the tragedy of falling housing prices, but forget that housing prices were once hyped to an extreme level. Many couples dedicate one of their salaries primarily to mortgage payments, a common occurrence. Some even buy a second home in a school district, keeping the proportion of wages allocated to mortgages consistently high. Don't just focus on the decline in housing prices. Consider how many young families under 40 are trapped in mortgages, which is more heartbreaking than the illusory asset prices. Regardless of housing price fluctuations, their mortgage payments remain unchanged to be repaid over 30 years. The second issue is the helplessness of major consumption. Some people are criticized for buying a car worth over 200,000 yuan when they don't have much money. However, I want to speak up for these individuals who they are not driven by vanity, but by necessity. Whether it's for their children's school commute or extracurricular activities. A car is often needed for transportation. Many people live far from work and require a car for their daily commute. With aging parents, a car is also convenient for hospital visits during emergencies. Even for leisure, a car makes weekend outings to the countryside more accessible. This is not an excessive expense, but a natural demand at this economic level. Since many cannot afford to pay in full, they opt for a car loan. However, the cost of maintaining a car is also high, and with car loans, another portion of their salary is deducted. I'd like to address another issue that few consider due to the significant flaws in urban planning. In the West, people buy cars because they live in suburban villas. But in China, people live in compact apartments, yet still need to buy cars. Ideally, China's dense apartment-style residential model should make public transportation the main mode of travel, with car ownership kept to a minimum. However, Chinese urban planning often spreads out like a pancake with large distant communities, connected by a single main road, making it difficult for public transportation to cover areas within a 10-minute walk. This results in the combined issues of Hong Kong's apartment problems and the rural sprawl of the West, forcing many to buy cars, and in some cases, two per family. Is it really vanity from my observation for most? It is not. Lastly, there are the high costs of basic expenses. Despite having social insurance and a housing fund, the status new poor still lead expensive lives. A child's weekend activities such as Lego games or go-karting can cost hundreds in just a few activities. Not to mention fixed expenses of various training classes, which can run into a few thousand per month. Even a weekend outing with parents, including meals and snacks, can easily cost $700 to $800. This also includes the issue of consumerism driven by urban construction, where there are few leisure activities that don't require spending money. In cities, there are few parks, and even those that exist may charge fees, leading to a severe lack of green space and a monotonous leisure culture. In contrast, the West offers a very different scenario with an abundance of green spaces and parks, providing numerous free leisure resources. This shapes a lifestyle where Chinese children's entertainment often comes at a high cost, with limited exposure to nature and greenery. This is not just a problem of overpopulation hold. I believe the main reason is the urban planning's extreme capital orientation and a severe lack of investment in public leisure facilities. This ultimately leads to a phenomenon where, after a week of work, the TDF new Pornik face the predicament of having to spend money wherever they go on the weekend, with over $1,000 gone in just 2 days. In summary, the root of the sound new poor lies in the insufficient public investment by the government. People work hard to secure good jobs, only to face exorbitant housing prices, a lack of planned transportation convenience, and a scarcity of leisure facilities. Each absence of public investment corresponds to an additional consumption tax that individuals must pay. This is why young families in China widely feel exhausted, as they are caught in an omnipresent net of capital and consumerism from which no one can escape, inevitably leading to the rise of a large number of new poor daily.